Well. So Skate Early Access has officially been out for a little over a month now, and when it first launched to mostly negative reviews, it was season zero, lots of new players getting in, trying it for the first time, legacy players coming over from their playtest access, or if they hadn't been in any of the playtests and this was their first time getting their hands on the game. The first impression for a lot of people who were not soft locked in Tutorial Island was pretty positive, and they really enjoyed the skating mechanics, some of the customization options in the game, and the ability to play with their friends in this big open city. For all the folks like myself who are less interested in this free-to-play live service offering of an EA Skate, the narrative has remained exactly the same. Go play something else, you're an old head, you're hating, it's free, it's early access, just don't buy anything, etc. Any and every possible angle to cover EA in their efforts to create high yield, low investment mobile game slop that only exists to milk people. Not yucking anybody's yum. If this is exactly the kind of game that you were looking for, that's great. I'm happy for you. To act like this series never had an identity or even existed at all, and all the folks who played those games just don't matter with this new entry, that's evidently what EA was aiming for with this game, and for that matter, I've accepted it for what it is. On the other hand, my fellow consumers, acting like our feedback is meaningless is just totally counterintuitive, and that's exactly where my issue is. My issue is with EA. It's the fact that they set the standard for what a sequel to the Skate franchise had to live up to, and they spit on and totally disregarded all of that for a feature incomplete, cringe, sanitized, family-friendly rendition of the next evolution of the Skate franchise. And we're supposed to feel obliged to give them money for that, to give them money for content that already existed in the previous games, which is not just barred at cosmetics. We're also talking about gameplay. We're talking about things that, because the game is now in early access, released officially to the public, it is up to us to fund for the live service to continue, at least beyond the content that's planned for the first 3 seasons of the game. And so what does that tell us exactly? Well, it tells us that EA is not confident in this project, at least not confident enough to give them the budget that they actually need to get these things done. And ironically, when we talk about making this game for people who are not interested in the core franchise, there's not really enough content in the game right now to stick around even beyond the first season. A lot of the stuff that people want is going to be added in season 2, season 3, or maybe even later, depending on what kind of stuff you want to see in the game. And to assume that a big chunk of the players who tried this game out for the first time are coming from Fortnite and or Roblox, games that are predicated around user-generated content, then to be honest, it makes perfect sense as to how somebody could become so bored of this experience very quickly. And that's assuming that you're not logging on every now and then for about 30 minutes to an hour of free skating with your Spotify playlist in the background. Because if that were the case, then I think this number would be significantly smaller. A lot of the people that are still playing are trying to max out their neighborhood districts or get their 11K rip score. And that's kind of the whole experience. Outside of grinding the game for these titles or free cosmetics, there isn't that much to do aside from skating. And of course, that doesn't pose as an issue to the people who really enjoy the free skating aspect of the game, but that's exactly where the problem is. This game is not made for those people. Even within that crowd of people, there's still a number of folks who say, well, I enjoy free skating every now and then, but after beating the districts, the game just gets a little bland. It's not as content rich or tonally satisfying as the trilogy. And while the gameplay is smoother than Session, the lack of visual identity and severe lack of variety in the map design will almost certainly make the experience pretty boring after about 20 to 30 hours. We just end up defaulting back to the same stuff. Oh, well, it's early access. Oh, well, it's free. Yeah, and that is the issue. Publisher wants all the customers' money, but only wants to provide a decimal of the quality. So if EA isn't taking this game seriously, then why the hell should we? Why should we? Because of the name, mind you. I'm almost 90% sure that if this product belonged to a different publisher, the needless defenses of its glaring, obvious issues would be almost, if not fully absent. Why should we feel compelled to invest in this game when the current value that is giving us through updates is either adding new issues or not addressing the current ones? And following that, the event cosmetics that we've gotten has been extremely bland. In fact, I haven't even gotten into the season 1 shenanigans yet. Now, I'm gonna say this again. If you enjoy the game, that's fine. There's no problem with that. In fact, I'm happy for you. I'm envious that you enjoy the game. The problem is, it's a live service game. So this forces us to take a stand. Either we're going to support this broken, disgusting mess that they put together, or if we don't, then on the contrary, this game is not going to be around for that much longer. At the very least, if they wanted to milk people that bad, then you would at least expect the cosmetics to look nice, or you would fix all the countless issues people are having with the game that are preventing them from giving you money. But since EA's only interest with this game was to farm cash, the budget for an actual story mode, more content, and even just servers that work paled greatly in comparison to the budget for cosmetics and a simple skater utopia playground that they can plaster billboards around. So because the game now has to survive off of our money, the whole just don't play the game, don't buy anything counter argument to real constructive criticism does not make any damn sense. In fact, the last time that people just, oh dude, don't buy anything, yeah, I'm sure that went extremely well. And let me just get this out the way too. This is not a shot at Full Circle. This is about EA and the folks who stop at nothing to continue defending them for what they've done to this game. Granted how obvious it is that EA got directly with the marketing lead to decide the gameplay direction, at this point, it kind of just feels like Full Circle is following their lead and there's not really much that they can do about it. Shoehorning events into the game when there's numerous amounts of bugs that need to be fixed. And other than the skate status Twitter page, I mean, the communication has been at a zero since release. Also, reporting live from the editing room, it seems that EA is stopping at nothing to absolutely murder this game in cold blood. The decisions they're making to ensure people are not going to return to this game, the writing is kind of on the wall right now. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about. This game is just in true dire need of redirection or being saved from a different publisher because, oh my goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here. There's a whole bunch of shit to talk about. We're gonna get to that. Remember to spam hashtag save Full Circle in the comment section. If you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe with the bell, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys very shortly.